off from Vata.
Mm, work on that. Work on that. The strength part of the Vata piece, the strength and the steady piece. So that's what we're gonna do. We'll revisit. Don't worry, those of you that were here and we were working on the root and all the parts of the root and how to reach from those places. We'll be returning to those places. But today we're going to work with strengthening of what's the core, what's the deeper core muscle, strength piece, what's kind of the more not as deep, and what about our arms and all these other pieces in regards to strengthening. All right. Okay. So, and Sherry, I saw your message about your ankle. So great. Thank you for letting me know. Is it the right one?
Left.
The left one. Okay. I was going to try to come up with a signal system for right and left. I wasn't sure you were unmuted, so that was good. Left one. Okay. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and take a comfortable seat. And during this beginning part, I'm going to go ahead and just mute everyone in case someone comes in or something while we're seated. I can't mute Diego, but I the mute button, I think we're going to have a whole new relationship with the word mute. It's too funny. I actually, just one little story is just that my mother comes to my adaptive yoga class on Fridays. I teach it right after this class. And on those classes, I have every person do a little check-in, and then we do the usual, we sit and all of that. But my mom has been doing this thing where all of a sudden she'll start talking to her husband or her dog or something, and it's really disruptive. So I mute her. I have to mute my mom. It just is so. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm doing it. Mute. Anyway. Oh boy. Well, there we go. So let's go ahead and take a seat. Close our eyes. I'm sure my husband would like to mute me at times. I don't doubt it. So find the ground beneath you. Reach all the way down into the earth. Notice how the sit bones connect to that support beneath you, and how that support goes beyond the blanket or the block or the floor. So how do we stay with that support? How do we stay connected to it while lengthening up and reaching up towards the sky with our spine? And you're welcome to go ahead and drop into your ujjayi, an easeful, balanced inhale and exhale. And while you're working with your beautiful, elegant breath, can you notice your front to back balance in your body? See if you can get a sense of, where is the front of you? And then where is the back body? What is the shape of your back body right now? And can you also bring in the right side of your body? Can you knit the front and the back together with your felt sense? And then the left side. And maybe you get a sense of the container of yourself, of your torso. And how the body on the inside expands with the inhale. Where do you feel it? And on the exhale, what is different? And I want you, just for the next few moments, to drop your attention into your diaphragm. See if you can get a sense of the shape of the diaphragm. So on the inhale, the diaphragm, it flattens out and expands. See if you can feel that flattening out of the diaphragm on the inhale. And on the exhale, the diaphragm domes up inside the rib cage, kind of like an umbrella. Some of you might notice that on the inhale, as the diaphragm expands out, that the very center of it still has a small little lift. All right, you can release any control on the breath. And join your hands in front of your heart. And we'll sing Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu. That's right. It goes along with the themes of the keep going, because together may we be protected. Together may we be nourished. May our practice bring us great energy. And may that bring more light or luminosity to the darkness. And may we not hate or dispel one another. All right, so let's begin by taking a deep inhale. Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Saviryam Karavavai Tejasvinavarim Tamastu My Viryashavai Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. With your exhale, you can bow your head to your heart. Release your hands and lift your gaze. Okay, so you're going to be lying on your back with your knees bent, your feet on the floor, and you're going to be sliding one heel out. So you might check and see, like, do I need a sock, or do I have a slippery floor, or is my mat slippery, or, how am I going to slide this heel? Okay, so let's do it. So lie on your back with the knees bent and the feet on the ground. And I'm thinking you guys can hear me okay. Can you hear me okay, Michael? Okay. We've had some volume issues. Let me know. Let me know if you can't hear me. All right. Oh, that was funny. Okay, so you're lying on your back. You either have a sock on or a slippery floor or something of that nature. And because the reason I want to do this is I want you to, this is going to be the deep multifidi muscles. These muscles that are at the front of your spine. Okay, so I'm going to use my slippery floor. And so first I want to notice where my body connects to the ground. Where does my body touch the earth? So the back of the head, your upper back, back of the pelvis, your heel, and there's the ball of your feet and all 10 toes. And then what I want you to do is just take a deep inhale and a complete exhale. And with your next inhale, just slide the right heel out on the ground. And then your exhale, slide it back up. And I want you to keep going. You're sliding the right heel out. And with your exhale, you're sliding it back. And as you do this, I just want you to notice, does this feel easy to you? How much effort is there as you do this right side? How much effort is there to slide the heel back up? So those small little muscles at the front of the spine, are able to do this unless one of them is injured or has for some reason atrophied, isn't as strong anymore. Okay, so the next time you slide the right heel up, you can pause. Just kind of notice what the right side feels like. And then let's take the left side. So the inhale, you're going to slide the left heel out. The exhale, you slide it back in. And can you do that a couple more times? Actually, more like 5 more times. And notice, how does this side feel? How does it feel? Does it feel, effortless? Or do you feel like this side is different than the other side? All right, and then the next time you slide that up, there's both feet on the ground again, and you can rest. And you just make a note to self about, did one side feel like you had to use more effort when you brought that right heel up? Because it might mean that there is I had an injury, or it wasn't really an injury, but some of my multifidi years ago on one side were not firing. I didn't know it, but all I knew is I was really recruiting my psoas to do those heel slides. And I don't need to do that. So we're just noticing, what are the sides like? Okay. Now, the next part you're going to do is still connected to the breath. And with the exhale, pick up the heels, just the heels. You might have to walk the balls of the feet closer to you. And now I want you to wrap that deep transversus abdominis around the torso. So it's coming from the back body, it's wrapping all the way around the torso, the abdominal area, towards the midline. It's also from that whole bone, the ramus, the part of the pelvis that comes forward. It also includes lower rib cage. So see if you can feel a deep muscle that when it's engaged, when you pick up your heels, it's actually toning, and you'll find more of your back body touching the ground. Let's put the heels back down on the floor. And if your yoga mat, if you had to move your mat out from under your feet, you can lengthen it back out. One more time, lift the heels and see if you can wrap all the way around. It's like saran wrap from the back body, the lumbar spine, lower front ribs, low from the pubic bone towards that hip point, everything wrapping towards midline. All right, and then the heels down one more time. And resting. So we have all these different layers. We have the muscles that are at the front of the spine, the little bitty ones that can help us every day through so many movements. And then we have these layers of other abdominals that help us. So like, for example, when you cough, and you can even do a little cough right now, you'll feel that transversus muscle tone around the body. That tones when you cough. So it's like support, the cough is happening, right? All right, so next time you exhale, let's pick up the heels. You feel a broadness across the back body. Let's float the toes from the ground. So now the thighs are vertical, the lower legs are dangling. I'm going to try to relax my jaw and relax my neck. Now there's more effort in my abdominal work right now, for sure. And the breath has to be in the rib cage. You can't belly breathe. You can't let the belly expand, because then you're letting go of this abdominal tone. Lift the lower legs to be parallel with the ground. So the inhale is in the rib cage. And then we're going to exhale, bend the knees, toes, heels, release. Okay, here we go again. Inhale deeply. Exhale, pick up the heels. When you do, you feel this wrapping all the way around. You feel more of the low back, right above the pelvis, maybe connect to the floor. And then you're going to lift the toes. And you might pick up the legs to be parallel. Breathing in the rib cage. The next exhale, a little toe tap. And back up, and the other side, and back up. So we're alternating toe taps. We could either have the lower legs dangling to toe tap, or we could have the lower legs parallel to toe tap. We don't have, and then we're gonna, if you have the shins up, drop them, and then bring the toes down and the heels. So we have to work it within our limits so we don't end up stressing the lumbar spine. And so we want to be really aware and careful with what we're doing, right? So now let's take the hands behind your head and clasp your hands back there, elbows toward each other, and lift your head up. And then make sure that the head is resting in the palms. Okay, and then taking a deep inhale with your exhale, can you lift your top of the rib cage up so the lower ribs slide down, and then slowly lower back down. Inhaling down, you're down. Exhale, just take the head just a tiny bit from the ground, but use the strength of the abdominals to lift up your torso a bit, and then back down. And what I'm working with as I do this are the back ribs connecting more to the floor, and the front ribs sliding down the front of the abdomen. Can you do about 5 more? Inhaling on the way down, exhaling on the way up. Let the head be restful in the hands. So you're not going to pull your head up with your hands. You're moving the rib cage, really is what's moving. Okay, there might be another one there, I don't remember. And then we're down again. Great. Okay, so we're warming up. So if you thought it was cold, you're probably not feeling so cold at the moment. All right, let's take right leg straight up towards the sky. So when you press into the left foot, again, you should feel like, oh, when I press into my left foot, do I feel more of my body connecting the ground? I want to keep it that way so that with your next exhale, start to lower the right leg. Keep the right leg straight. Keep pressing into the left foot. And don't change. Don't let the pelvis tilt. Pelvis stays stable. And then we're going to lift the leg back up. The exhale, I'm pressing into my left foot, I'm lowering my right leg, and I'm making sure the shape of my spine stays the same. Inhale it up. I'll just do like 3 more. You can stop anytime or go back to one of the others. I want the leg to move from the hip joint, not the pelvis to be tilting with the leg. Last one. And then we'll bend the right knee, bring the right foot down, left leg up. And if you can, have the left leg as straight as you can. Inhale deeply, press into the right foot. Exhale, you're lowering the left leg. The inhale, lift. And the exhale, lower. And you might notice a difference again on the second side. Great. Okay, last one of whatever you're doing. Last sip of your little morning cappuccino. Back up. All right, and then both feet to the ground. Great. And then just release any holding and take a moment. All right, and then let's roll over to one side and use your arms to press yourself back up. All righty, so some of us are going to come to table pose. And in our table, we're going to take a moment to just make sure that the soft part of the elbow is facing towards the thumb. We're going to check with the hands. Are they lined up with are the fingers lined up with the bones of the hands? Okay. And then, so here we go into a table with extensions. So as you reach into the right hand and the left shin, you're taking right leg back, left arm forward. So this is, again, there's tone at the front of the spine and transversus. And lower. And when you lower, everything should go right back into its parking spot. You shouldn't have to bend your elbow or anything like that, right? Inhale in the middle. Exhale, second side. So how do I tone through the midsection? How do I keep going here? Reaching out both directions. Exhale, lower. Inhale in the middle. And you're going to go back to your first side. Back to the first side. Good. Great. Good. This is beautiful. Wonderful. And lowering down. And second side. Really strong in the back leg. Remember how the adductors of the back leg are part of the deep front line, that you tone those adductors? Good. And then we lower down again. Great. That's really nice. Oh, Diego. Hello, Diego. Did you decide it was time for you to take over my yoga mat? Huh? Okay. So let's get our blocks. Let's get our blocks. All right. And we're going to step right foot forward and left leg back. We're coming into a lunge. All right, so in the lunge of the day, the first lunge on this Friday. So what happens when you reach into the right heel and Can you feel a diagonal that goes through the pelvis all the way into the back leg? And then as you come to your fingertips, get connected to your breath. And when you're ready, take the arms wide. Don't lift the torso, just take the arms out. And then now you're going to transition upright. And you might lift the arms. Then we'll inhale the arms wide, remembering where the support comes in this pose. Exhale, airplane. We'll lower the hands. Let's inhale, step forward. And exhale, right foot back. So I want to balance the weight in my hips, right in my hip joints balanced. So by now, I'm sure you've heard me enough times saying, press into the front heel, reach all the way back. From the pelvis, you reach all the way back into the right inner heel. Come to fingertips. And then arms out. How are you supporting the low back? Come upright. Arms in any position. Inhale, the arms are wide. You're exhaling to airplane again. How do you, right as you're bowing, you should begin to wrap all the way around the torso. So you're really lifting those abdominal organs up to the front of the spine. Then touch the hands down. Let's inhale, we'll step forward. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale halfway. And exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale your hands back in Anjali Mudra. Inhale, lift both arms. Exhale to chair pose. So in your chair pose, you can soften through the hip crease and take the abdominal organs that are at the front of the sacrum and draw them back towards the sacrum. Your next exhale, let's bow forward. Inhale, straighten the legs. Exhale, bow. Inhale halfway. And exhale. We could take downward facing dog with blocks. If your calves are really tight still, you might want to have your hands on your blocks. Remember, shoulder blades are broad, so the upper back is broad. How do you keep it broad when you're still reaching toward the hands? When you're still lengthening through the side body. We're going to inhale to plank. So plank pose. There's the rib cage meeting the front of the shoulder blades. Exhale back to downward dog again. Okay, so in a moment, when we go to plank, you're going to bring a knee to the outer elbow. So inhale, plank. And then take, with your next exhale, right knee can come up and towards the right elbow, and then back, plank. Exhale, left knee. Lift it up and to the outer left elbow and back. All right, downward dog. And then we're going to step forward. Uttanasana. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, Anjali Mudra. And then release the arms. All right, so if we go now to, let me find my glasses. Can we go, can you find a spot at the wall for side plank? We'll do a side plank at the wall. So if you find a place where you're gonna stand with the right arm, the right wrist below the right shoulder. Right wrist below the right shoulder. Right arm is straight. Then you're going to walk yourself out so that your right ankle is below, more like the left shoulder. So I'm reaching into my hand, taking my hips away from the wall. Okay. And then let's take the left leg and bring it to some shape. It could be foot on the calf. You could keep it just like it is. Maybe it's coming all the way to the inner thigh. And the left arm reaches out. Side plank with the wall. Vasisthasana. Okay, and then we'll release that. And let's turn around and try the other side. So left hand at the wall, the wrist below the shoulder. Walk the left foot out so it's underneath the right shoulder. Okay. I think that looks good. That looks good. Okay. And then you're going to, if you want, take the right foot up into like a tree position, or just have both feet together. That's fine as well. There you go. And then there goes the other arm out to the side. Good. Good. Breathing. Not so bad, right? This feels pretty good. And then release. Okay. Let's go back to your yoga mat and take a wide stance. And we can have our blocks. We'll take hands up on the hips. Lift the top of the breastbone. We're bowing forward, wide-legged forward fold. Hands come down. Let's keep the spine long, the wrists under the shoulders right now. Strongly reaching from the inner knees all the way to the feet, all the way to the inner heels. And then let's take your right hand in between, to that space in between. Reach down, we're gonna twist to the left. Hand could either be on the hip or lifted. Now long spine, so make sure you didn't side bend toward the left. Exhale back to center. We'll switch our hands. Reaching into the ground, right hand up on the hip and turning. And then exhale back to center. Let's shift the hands to the hips. Inhale, come up. And then we'll step the feet together. Inhale, lift both arms. And exhale, hands back in front of the heart. Again, inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, arms up. Exhale, hands Anjali Mudra. All right, let's release the arms and take Vrikshasana, tree pose. We'll stand on your right foot first. So you're going to draw that your right side, the greater trochanter, into midline, in towards the core of the pelvis. And then unweight the left foot and bring it up. Release. Shifting, second side. Reaching into the earth, drawing that outer hip all the way towards the core of the pelvis, all the way towards the midline. You'll feel the tone at the inner thigh of the standing leg. Arms up when you're ready. Releasing. Good. Inhale, lift both arms. Exhale, can we take chair pose? Good. And we'll bow forward. Inhale, straighten the legs. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands Anjali Mudra. And then let's release that. And we're going to come into triangle pose. Triangle. So we'll step the feet apart. Got your blocks. On the back, let's go to your right. So we'll drop your left heel back. Turn the right foot forward. Take one of your blocks or two blocks, whatever you need. At the outer right shin. Inhale the arms wide. And exhale, here we go. So pelvis moves away from the front thigh. You can take left hand on the hip and right hand comes down to the block. Did you draw that outer hip to midline? And just for kicks and giggles, those of you that remember where on the front leg, from on the pelvis, on the front leg, can you find your pubic bone? Can you find the inner sit bone on the right, perineum? And from that space, can you lengthen toward the core of the pelvis? We're turning the torso towards the sky, reaching the opposite arm up. Your next inhale, lift yourself up, push into the front foot. All right. And let's take your second side. Second side. So left foot out, right foot turned in. Both legs will be straight. And you'll inhale the arms wide when you're ready. And exhale. There goes the pelvis away from the front leg. Good. That's it. Yeah. Great. So drawing that left outer hip towards midline. Left greater trochanter comes into the body so that it balances the weight in the hips. If you want to come back into that place where we were working from the front left root, we were going from the left pubic bone, left inner sit bone, perineum, and reaching the diagonal up to the center of the pelvis, that space between pubic bone and sacrum. Torso's turning, long spine on both sides of the spine. Great. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, release. Great. Step your feet back together. All right. Okay, so now let's go to the top of your mat. So you've got your blocks facing forward. And I'll take you through a little series. In this little series we'll be doing also a side plank as an option, okay, and also a half moon option. So just so you know, okay. So here we go. Inhale, lift both arms. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Let's inhale halfway. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale to plank pose. You arrive there in your plank, all that strength, rib cage meeting the front of the shoulder blades, tone at the inner thighs. Now, let's go back, downward facing dog. And inhale, plank. And then you're going to, if you're taking side plank, we'll go to the right. So right hand, right arm, pelvis lifts away from the ground. Maybe left arm up. Exhale, back to plank. Inhale in the middle. Let's exhale, go over to the second side. Where's the back of the head? Base of the skull. Exhale, back to center. Inhale there. Exhale, let's bring the knees down. Chest comes down. Inhale to a baby cobra. Exhale, lower. Inhale, all fours. Push the ground away. Exhale, either puppy or downward facing dog. Let's inhale. If we're going, we're going to take the right foot forward. So if you're in downward dog, you could take the right leg up. Or if you're in puppy, you can just bring the right foot forward. Inhale, upright lunge. Inhale the arms out. Exhale, bow forward with that grace, the strength, all the awareness you've been working. Step back. Inhale from the left inner thigh. Lift the left leg up. Exhale, left foot forward. Inhale, upright. Exhale, bowing forward. Let's inhale, step forward. And exhale, fold. All right, and now let's inhale halfway. Can you have your blocks? And there you are, halfway up. You could take the blocks tall. You're gonna have the blocks a good 12 or 14 inches away from you so that you're long through the torso. Let's inhale, lift the left leg. And as you exhale, draw that right outer hip into midline. And then, can you reach all the way back from the core of the pelvis through the lifted leg? And maybe you'll bring left hand up. Slowly turning back, lowering your left leg down, shifting the weight to the left, pick up the right leg, and then draw that left outer hip in. Draw it into midline. Reach out the lifted leg. With a lot of vigor, reach, 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 and then begin to take the right hand up. And then we'll turn back towards the ground. Lower the leg. Let's bow forward, Uttanasana. Relaxing the head and the neck in Uttanasana. You can even shake the head a little bit if that helps you to release your neck. And then we'll inhale halfway. Exhale, we're coming to the ground. So we'll bend both knees. And take a moment of child's pose. And then walk the hands back. All right, and we're going to take Gomukhasana legs. So some of you will want to sit on a block on the lowest setting. Some of you will want on the block. Some of you might be happy on the ground. Let's take left leg on the bottom. I'm not your mirror now, am I? And right leg on the top. So Gomukhasana legs. So some of you, this will be, if you, as you settle into the weight balanced here, this will be, for some of you, this will be the right place to work. You'll be getting a stretch. For some of you, the block might be too high, and you'll bring the pelvis maybe to the ground. And if, for some of you, the knees aren't happy with Gomukhasana, you could lie on your back and take the figure 4 with the little toe side of the right foot above the left knee. And you're dropping your awareness into this space. If you're in Gomukhasana, if you're in the Gomukhasana legs, just noticing that area around the outer greater trochanter on the right. And what happens when you just draw the abdominal organs in the deep lower abdomen, just a little back. And some of you might walk forward a little. All right, and let's take the other side. So again, you can be seated up on a block. You might be doing a figure 4. You might be on the ground or a blanket. This is the side where I always have to take a little, you want the weight balanced in the hips. Okay. Balancing the weight in the hips. Either seated on the block, a blanket, or the floor. And some of us might come a little forward. All right. Let's let that go. Let's take, come off the block or back up to sitting. Let's take 2 straight legs for a moment. Okay. And then can we take the left heel towards the outer right hip and the right foot across? So Matsyendrasana. Ardha Matsyendrasana 1. You're going to be turning towards your right. So you'll either hold this knee with the hand or with the elbow. We're broadening the back of the pelvis. Broadening the back of the pelvis, especially broadening the side that you're turning towards. So if you're turning towards the right, broadening the back of the right pelvis sacrum. You can either have that right hand behind you on the side you're turning towards, or you can grab onto the forearms, whichever you want. Okay, let's come back to center. Let's switch sides. Ardha Matsyendrasana 1. Balancing the weight in the hips. Turning towards that lifted knee. And broadening across the pelvis on the back. So if you're turning left, how do you broaden the pelvis? Even from the sacrum out towards the greater trochanter on that side. We're going to come back to center. Let's take both legs wide for a moment. Upavista, hands Anjali Mudra. Let's have the legs balanced. So from the knees to the ankles. And where's the perineum? Is your perineum tilting forward, backward? Can you bring it to be neutral? Okay, let's take hands under the knees. Bring the legs back up to center. And we're going to come onto your back. So if you want to, pad the floor, we're going to do a stretch there before we do a pranayama. So I'm going to pad the ground, lie on your back. And this time we're going to take the arms out wide. Take the little toe side of the right foot to the top of the left thigh. And then you're going to tilt the lower body towards the left. So the right foot, you could either put a block there for the right foot to land on, or maybe the right foot lands on the floor. Can you take the right shin towards vertical? And you might slide the right arm up alongside the right ear. All right, let's come back up to center. Both feet on the ground. Now we're going to cross the left, little toe side of the left foot there. Tilt the lower body to the right. So the left foot finds either the ground or a block or something. I'm going to take if my hip will allow me, I'm going to take my left shin towards vertical and slide my left arm up alongside my left ear. And then we're going to inhale, come back up. And release, both feet are back on the floor, just pausing for a moment in this resting place. All right, and let's go ahead and bring right knee to the chest. So you're lengthening through the back, right. And then we'll put the right foot down. Let's bring the left one up. All right, and then we're going to roll over to one side. Use the arms to push yourself back up. And if your body is okay kneeling, we'll do this yogi mudra kneeling. And we want to be able to, in a moment, we'll take the hands behind, and on the exhale, we'll be coming down. You want to be able to have your forehead touch something. So for some of you, it might be a block or some pillows or a blanket. So just do a little test drive. If the legs are not happy, if the knees aren't happy, you might try putting a little spacer behind the knees, like a blanket or some washcloths or towels. Sometimes just creating space at the back of the knee feels good. All right, so you figured out where your head's going to touch. So what we're going to do is it'll be The inhale, you'll be upright. On the exhale, you're going to be bowing forward. So the exhale, I'll bow forward. And you'll hold the exhale out while you're down until you just feel like, I want to breathe. And then you'll just inhale, come back up and repeat. So we're just holding the exhale out. It's not a contest. I'm not trying to be, hold my breath out as long as I can. I'm not counting, nothing. I'm just exhaling on the way down, keeping the breath out until I feel the need to breathe, and then I'll inhale and come up. Can you do about 6 of those? Hands behind, clasping onto a wrist. You inhale vertical, and your exhale, you're bowing. You could do this seated in a chair as well. You're just going to take your time, make your breath smooth. You don't retain the inhale. You just come up on the inhale and exhale on the way down. And then the next time that you inhale up, go ahead and bring yourself to Shavasana. And then allowing your breath to deepen. And just beginning to awaken your body to movement. Make a transition to one side. Use the arms to come back up to sitting. Bring your hands in front of your heart. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. And we'll just keep going. Keep going on. Let's see, I'll stop that.